Hey, welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we're diving into the latest financial numbers from a giant in the telecom space, Bharti Airtel. This is always a big one to watch.
Absolutely. Bharti Airtel is a major player not just in India but also in Africa. Their business spans mobile services, enterprise solutions, DTH, home broadband, and they also have a significant stake in passive infrastructure through Indus Towers, plus their payments, bank and mobile money operations in Africa. A truly diversified telecom and digital services provider.
Indeed. So it looks like we're looking at their audited financial results, both consolidated and standalone, for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31st, 2025. The board of directors approved these on May 13th, 2025. Quite a bit to unpack here.
That's right. We've got the full picture for Q4 and the entire fiscal year.
Let's start with the consolidated numbers. How did Bharti Airtel perform on the revenue front for the fourth quarter?
For the fourth quarter ended March 31st, 2025, Bharti Airtel's consolidated revenue from operations stood at 47,876 crore rupees. That's a solid performance. Year over year, compared to the same quarter last year, which was 37,599 crore rupees, it's up by a healthy 27.3%.
27.3% year over year is quite strong. And what about sequentially compared to the previous quarter, Q3 FY25, which was 45,129 crore rupees?
Quarter over quarter, the revenue of 47,876 crore rupees is up from 45,129 crore rupees in the third quarter. That's a growth of about 6.1% sequentially. So continued momentum there.
Now, how about EBITDA for the consolidated entity in Q4?
Consolidated EBITDA for Q4 FY25 came in at 27,404 crore rupees. Year over year, this is a significant jump of 39.9% from 19,590 crore rupees reported in Q4 of FY24.
Nice growth on EBITDA year over year. And the quarter over quarter movement for EBITDA, with Q3 FY25 EBITDA at 29,057 crore rupees.
Sequentially, the Q4 EBITDA of 27,404 crore rupees is actually down by 5.7% compared to the third quarter's EBITDA of 29,057 crore rupees. So a bit of a dip there sequentially after a strong Q3.
Interesting. Let's move to profit before tax or PBT on a consolidated basis for the quarter.
The consolidated profit before tax before exceptional items for Q4 FY25 was 9,724 crore rupees. Year over year, this is a very strong increase of 85.8% from 5,233 crore rupees in Q4 of the previous year. After exceptional items, the PBT for Q4 FY25 was 9,584 crore rupees, which is up 245% year-over-year from 2,778 crore rupees.
And how does that PBT before exceptional items look quarter over quarter, given Q3 FY25 PBT before exceptional items was 9,346 crore rupees?
Quarter over quarter, the PBT before exceptional items of 9,724 crore rupees is up by 4.0% from 9,346 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
So what about the bottom line, the profit after tax or PAT for the consolidated business in Q4, specifically attributable to the owners of the parent?
Consolidated profit after tax before exceptional items attributable to owners for Q4 FY25 was 5,222 crore rupees. This is a very impressive year-over-year growth of 71.7% from 3,041 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. If we look at PAT after exceptional items attributable to owners, it was 11,022 crore rupees, a massive 432% increase from 2,072 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, largely due to a significant tax credit.
Wow, that's a huge jump in PAT after exceptional items. How did the PAT before exceptional items attributable to owners fare quarter over quarter with Q3 at 5,494 crore rupees?
Quarter over quarter, the consolidated PAT before exceptional items attributable to owners at 5,222 crore rupees was down by about 4.9% from 5,494 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. And PAT after exceptional items attributable to owners was down 25.5% sequentially from 14,781 crore rupees in Q3.
And the all-important earnings per share or EPS on a consolidated basis?
The consolidated basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 19.02 rupees. This is substantially up from 3.61 rupees in Q4 of the previous year. Quarter over quarter, it's down from 25.54 rupees in Q3 FY25.
Any significant other income we should be aware of on the consolidated side?
Yes, for Q4 FY25, consolidated other income was 486 crore rupees. Year over year, that's up from 317 crore rupees. Sequentially, it's slightly up from 470 crore rupees in Q3.
Okay, so that's the consolidated quarterly picture. What about the full year consolidated performance for FY25?
For the full financial year ended March 31, 2025, consolidated revenue from operations grew by 15.3% year over year to 1,72,985 crore rupees, up from 1,49,982 crore rupees in FY24. Consolidated EBITDA for FY25 was 94,249 crore rupees, an increase of 19.2% year over year, with the EBITDA margin improving to 54.5% from 52.7%. Consolidated profit before tax after exceptional items for FY25 was 38,398 crore rupees, up 203% year over year. And the consolidated profit after tax before exceptional items for the full year was 17,573 crore rupees, up 55.4% year over year. The PAT after exceptional items attributable to owners for FY25 was a very strong 33,556 crore rupees, a massive 349.4% increase year over year. The full year consolidated basic EPS stood at 58.00 rupees, up significantly from 13.09 rupees in FY24.
That's a strong full year performance as well. Now let's shift our focus to the standalone results for Bharti Airtel. How did the standalone entity perform in Q4 FY25, starting with revenue?
For the standalone entity, revenue from operations in Q4 FY25 was 28,608 crore rupees. Year over year, this is up by 17.5% from 24,345 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
And a sequential growth for standalone revenue from Q3's 28,434 crore rupees?
Quarter over quarter, standalone revenue saw a slight increase of 0.6% from 28,434 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
How about EBITDA for the standalone business in Q4?
Using profit before depreciation, amortization, finance costs, exceptional items and tax as a proxy for standalone EBITDA, it stood at 16,571 crore rupees for Q4 FY25. Year over year, this is up 23.6% from 13,405 crore rupees.
And the quarter over quarter movement for this standalone EBITDA proxy from Q3's 16,471 crore rupees?
Sequentially, it was up by a marginal 0.6% from 16,471 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
Okay, let's look at the standalone profit before tax for Q4.
Standalone profit before tax for Q4 FY25 was 4,686 crore rupees. Year over year, this is up by a very strong 102.4% from 2,315 crore rupees.
And how did the standalone PBT fare quarter over quarter with Q3 at 6,824 crore rupees, which included an exceptional item? If we look at Q3 before its exceptional gain of 2,614 crore rupees, PBT was 4,210 crore rupees.
Correct. So, quarter over quarter, the standalone PBT of 4,686 crore rupees is actually up 11.3% from 4,210 crore rupees in Q3 FY25 before its exceptional gain.
Got it. And the standalone profit after tax for Q4?
Standalone profit after tax for Q4 FY25 was 9,318 crore rupees. This is a massive 411% increase year over year from 1,824 crore rupees.
And quarter over quarter for standalone PAT from Q3's 9,197 crore rupees?
Sequentially, standalone PAT increased by 1.3% from 9,197 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
What about the standalone EPS for Q4?
The standalone basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 16.07 rupees, up significantly from 3.18 rupees in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, it was slightly up from 15.88 rupees in Q3.
And the full year picture for the standalone business in FY25?
For the full year FY25, standalone revenue from operations was 1,08,944 crore rupees, up 15.7% year-over-year. The standalone EBITDA proxy for FY25 was 62,124 crore rupees, up 19.7% year-over-year. Standalone profit before tax for FY25 was 17,864 crore rupees, up a very strong 151% year-over-year. And standalone profit after tax for FY25 was 23,502 crore rupees, up an impressive 371% year-over-year. The full-year standalone basic EPS was 40.60 rupees, up from 8.74 rupees in FY24.
Strong numbers across the board for both consolidated and standalone. Looking at profitability, what can you tell us about the margins? For instance, the consolidated EBITDA margin?
The consolidated EBITDA margin for Q4 FY25 was 57.2%. This is an improvement from 52.1% in the same quarter last year. However, sequentially, it did moderate from 62.0% in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, the consolidated EBITDA margin was 54.5%, up from 52.7% in FY24.
And for the standalone business, what were the EBITDA proxy margins like?
For the standalone business, the EBITDA proxy margin for Q4 FY25 was around 57.9%. This is up from 55.0% in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, it was quite stable. For the full year FY25, the standalone EBITDA proxy margin improved to 57.0% from 55.2% in FY24.
So margin improvement both year over year for consolidated and standalone. Now you mentioned exceptional items. Can you elaborate on those for Q4?
On a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, there was an exceptional loss of 140 crore rupees related to the settlement of a legal dispute in an erstwhile African subsidiary. However, this was significantly offset by a tax benefit on exceptional items, with the press release highlighting a deferred tax asset recognition of 5,913 crore rupees. For the standalone entity in Q4 FY25, there were no exceptional items before PBT, but there was a significant deferred tax credit of 4,631 crore rupees, which boosted the PAT.
That explains the large jump in PAT after exceptional items. What about the balance sheet? Any key highlights from the consolidated or standalone balance sheets as of March 31st, 2025?
On a consolidated basis, as of March 31st, 2025, total equity attributable to owners of the parent stood at 1,13,672 crore rupees, up from 82,019 crore rupees a year ago. The press release mentions net debt excluding lease obligations to EBITDA AL ratio annualized at a comfortable 1.42 times. On the standalone side, equity attributable to owners was 1,40,131 crore rupees, up from 1,862 crore rupees a year ago.
And any news on cash flows or dividends?
The board has recommended a final dividend for the financial year 24-25. It's 16 rupees per fully paid up equity share of face value 5 rupees each, and 4 rupees per partly paid up equity share, which has a paid up value of 1.25 rupees per share. This is of course subject to shareholder approval.
Good for the shareholders. Now, let's break down the performance by segments. This is always insightful for a company like Airtel. How did the key segments fare on a consolidated basis in Q4?
Looking at the consolidated segment results for Q4 FY25. Mobile Services India continues to be the powerhouse, with revenues of 26,617 crore rupees and a segment profit of 7,871 crore rupees. Mobile Services Africa also performed strongly, with revenues of 11,376 crore rupees and a segment profit of 3,390 crore rupees. Airtel Business India reported revenues of 5,315 crore rupees and a segment profit of 1,665 crore rupees. Passive Infrastructure Services, which is primarily Indus Towers, contributed revenues of 7,763 crore rupees and a segment profit of 2,795 crore rupees. Home Services India showed good growth, with revenues of 1,596 crore rupees and a segment profit of 322 crore rupees. Digital TV Services India had revenues of 764 crore rupees but posted a small segment loss of about 0.2 crore rupees.
So India Mobile and Africa Mobile are clearly the big drivers. Any particular trends within these segments that stood out in Q4 or for the full year?
For India Mobile, the average revenue per user or ARPU increased to 245 rupees in Q4 FY25, up from 209 rupees in Q4 FY24. That's a key positive. They also saw strong smartphone customer additions and growth in data consumption. The homes business also maintained its growth momentum with robust customer additions. For Africa, there was strong underlying revenue growth in constant currency. The consolidation of Indus Towers from November 19, 2024 has also significantly impacted the passive infrastructure segment's contribution.
That ARPU figure for India Mobile is indeed a key metric. Now summing up the year-over-year performance, what's the big picture?
Year over year, both the consolidated and standalone entities have shown very strong growth and profitability. Revenues are up, but profits, especially PAT, have seen a much larger jump, significantly aided by deferred tax asset recognitions in the fourth quarter for both. Operationally, key segments like India Mobile, Africa Mobile, and Homes are performing well. The consolidation of Indus Towers is also a major factor.
Were there any other significant notes or events from the report that investors should be aware of?
Yes, besides the Indus Towers consolidation, Bharti Airtel continued its strategy of prepaying high-cost spectrum dues. For the quarter ended March 2025, they prepaid 5,986 crore rupees towards deferred liabilities to the Department of Telecom for the 2024 auction. There was also the conversion and redemption of foreign currency convertible bonds. On the Africa front, Airtel Africa plc continued its share buyback program and Bharti Airtel increased its effective shareholding in Airtel Africa to 62.35%. Network I2I Limited also voluntarily redeemed perpetual bonds of $1,000 million. For the standalone entity, there were internal restructuring events like the transfer of its stake in Airtel Payments Bank, the transfer of its IoT business to Extelify Limited, and the transfer of its passive infrastructure business to Indus Towers.
Lots of financial housekeeping and strategic moves there. Now, a very critical part, the auditor's report. What did Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP have to say about both the consolidated and standalone financials?
This is a key positive. For both the audited consolidated financial results and the audited standalone financial results for the year ended March 31, 2025, the auditors Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP have issued an unmodified opinion. This means they found the financial statements to give a true and fair view.
So, no qualifications or adverse remarks?
That's correct. No qualifications or adverse opinions. In the consolidated audit report under Other Matters, they do mention their opinion on one associate is based solely on the audit report of another auditor. The share of net profit after tax from this associate was 18.8 crore rupees for Q4 and 49.8 crore rupees for the full year. They also state that the Q4 results are balancing figures. A similar point is in the standalone audit report. But critically, the main opinion is clean.
A clean audit report is always reassuring. So looking ahead, what's the outlook for Bharti Airtel based on these results and events?
Disclaimer: we advise investors to check with certified experts before taking any investment decisions. The outlook for Bharti Airtel appears positive. The India mobile business is showing healthy ARPU growth. The Africa business continues its strong underlying performance. The home segment is expanding well. The balance sheet has strengthened. The consolidation of Indus Towers will provide more stable cash flows. Key drivers will be continued ARPU improvement, subscriber growth, and expansion of digital and enterprise offerings. Risks could include competition, regulatory changes, and currency volatility. The dividend recommendation also signals confidence.
So to wrap it up, what are the main takeaways from Bharti Airtel's Q4 and FY25 performance?
The main takeaways are strong year-over-year revenue and significantly improved profitability, boosted by operations and favorable tax movements in Q4. India mobile ARPU continues its upward trajectory. Africa remains a strong contributor. The balance sheet is healthy. The consolidation of Indus Towers is key. And very importantly, they have clean, unmodified audit reports.
Excellent summary. It seems Bharti Airtel is firing on multiple cylinders and has laid a strong foundation for the coming year. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode for more financial insights.